Dear Jack, I'm writing to thank you for all the important work that you did to fight for marriage equality. Our community is all the richer for your dogged commitment. 45 years ago I met Margaret, and the bond between us was instant and strong. From that point on, there was no turning back. I had never really experienced love so intensely. Marg brings out the fun in me, the sense of wonder and adventure. When I met Marg, there was no equality for gay love, and I really didn't know what a lesbian was. Oh, goodness. It took me completely by surprise to find that I was attracted to a woman. I was in a heterosexual marriage in a small country town. Our worlds were turned upside down. Reinventing ourselves without the love and support of family and friends was terrifying. Our world was chaotic, but inside we were united and strong. My father used to say this: above all things to thine self be true. We stayed true to ourselves in the face of adversity and the people who thought it was their goddamn right to punish us. We never felt the need to marry, as our relationship had survived the test of time. Very testing at times. When the Australian public voted yes for marriage equality, we decided to support the tireless efforts of the good people like yourself who made this possible. Little has changed in our relationship, but the celebration of family and the support of friends was really quite overwhelming. The significance of our marriage to our families had an unexpected outcome, one we never thought was possible, and it sealed the healing within our families. I believe when one of us dies, it will be a great comfort to know that we have legal status and the recognition of our marriage, and that we never dreamt we would be possible. Jack, we are so grateful that you had the foresight and determination to make this possible, not only for us, but for many, many others also. Yours in friendship, Dorothy.
Dear Dorothy, thank you so much for your letter. It was a complete joy to read. Congratulations on 45 years. By any measure, 45 years is truly something, but to have achieved that milestone as a lesbian couple and from a small country town is extraordinary. I can only imagine what it would have been like for you and Marg back then. Pretty tough, I'm sure, but I bet you have some great stories too. Thank you for your kind words about the fight for marriage equality. I absolutely love that you and Marg decided to get married, and particularly that the legal recognition of your relationship gives you great comfort. I think that's really important, especially, as you say, when you think about one of you dying. And isn't it interesting the impact it had on your families? You're not the first person to tell me that a wedding and that formal process has brought extended family members together. I've seen queer weddings move people, parents, siblings, children, from being quite negative to a much more supportive place. Not something we expected at all when we were campaigning. Anyway, I'd love to hear more about your wedding and maybe see a photo or two. I think each generation builds on the courage of the past generation. Your unity and strength, your ability to stay true to yourself in the face of adversity, you pass that along. I like to think I picked it up, carried it, ran with it, and now pass it on to the next generation. That's how change happens. Curiously, just last week, I sat next to a young lesbian couple, G and M, at a dinner. They were completely gorgeous, had just got engaged, and M was sporting a very fancy engagement ring. They talked excitedly about getting married and starting a family, as if that was the most natural thing in the world, and for me, that was a little bit of magic. You and Marg could never have imagined that in a million years, could you? Nor could my wife Sarah and I, and yet, there it is. Sounds to me like the two of you blazed your own trail and quite clearly are still doing so. Not many lesbian couples in their 80s making videos for Midsumma. I think being with a person you love and being out about that is one of the most significant things we can do to make the world a little better, a little safer. I think your father was right, Dorothy. To thine own self be true. Your courage in being true to yourself and to each other laid the foundations for the rest of us. Thank you for that. So, perhaps when we're all in the same city sometime soon, we could do lunch. You and Marg, Sarah and me, and maybe we'll invite those young uns, G&M. Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? In the meantime, lovely to have shared a few moments with you. Thank you. Take care. Jack.
Margaret. This is my first duty as your wife to make you a cup of tea.
Why did you say, oh shit? Thank you, sweetheart. Do you want me to go and chocolate, wouldn't you?